So I'd like to spend a few minutes just to give you an introduction to what the project is all about. As you know, we're surrounded by digital technology. Some of it was futuristic in the movies from many years ago, but it's here and now that we're living it, we're breathing it, and we're indulging ourselves in a whole variety of digital transformation journeys and trajectories. You look at it from health to farming to agriculture, looking at all of the different interventions that we have in digital technology today, and it's around us. One of the main things that's coming out of a lot of these interventions is the fact that we're surrounded by data, some of which we can't really use, we don't understand it, and we don't have the tools and mechanisms to actually absorb it into our organizations. So this world of digital is with us today, and all we can see is an increase in the amount of digital innovation and investments that will be going on both in our homes, in our companies, and indeed in government. The Digital Lab itself was set up with some major investment from government, from industry, and indeed from the universities. And it really is a national centre for digital innovation, but digital transformation per se. It represents about a £12 million total investment from all of the partners. And we're looking to see how we can really help organizations embrace digital technology, but at the same time understand what are the impacts and the implications of this technology as we start to diffuse it within our organizational structures. In terms of the partnership, it's been led by Professor Alan Brown from the University of Exeter and colleagues Seema and Roger Mall, myself and colleagues at the University of East Anglia, and David Plans from Royal Holloway has joined us recently, and obviously Tim Vorley from Oxford Brookes and some of his colleagues. So we have a really good mixture of internationally leading universities, but also the disciplines that they represent, because as we know and has been mentioned earlier by Tim in his opening remarks, this is a multidisciplinary challenge. We can't do it all alone just from an engineering perspective. In terms of the project itself, we have a number of different levels of partners, from industry partners, infrastructure partners, and impact partners. So BT, Amazon, SAP, VMware, and DataSwift represent the infrastructure partners, and infrastructure is so important to the delivery of digital technologies and digital innovation, regardless of the size of the organization. But we also have impact partners. And it's very easy for us to look at just the technology, but we really need to understand how do we measure success in the interventions and the investments that we make through the digital transformation journeys that we want to undertake as a government agency, a small to medium-sized enterprise that's part of a supply chain perhaps to a large enterprise, as well as large-scale industry itself. The challenges that we face are global. They're not just in the UK, and it's already been alluded to. The fact that we're in a global connected society, we need to understand different standards, different cultures, and different expectations into how the technology itself can be infused into the way we work. So large established organizations are the key for us because they actually represent, in many cases, the huge challenges that we need to undertake as part of the digital transformation journey. But it's not just looking at the organizations in terms of their scale and complexity. We need to understand the underpinning business processes that they have to experience on a daily basis, and to understand what their vision and strategies are for growth in the future. In many cases, the last point here, you will see the structural silos. I'm sure many of you know organizations, government and indeed industrial, who have their own vertical silos, and it's just the way the business lines of business have been set up. But we're also looking at the horizontal structures that underpin many of the business processes, and to understand what role does digital have. Because if we change something on the invoicing or the payroll or the human resources aspect, it could have far-reaching consequences to other parts of the business. And these are the challenges that we need to look at. The Digital Lab, or the Digital Project itself, we have 5 main areas, from technology test beds, looking at the impact of digital innovation in business models, right through to demonstrators, organizational structures, and the last one here, 4, is very, very important, because we really need to look at the impact on the individuals, the citizens, as well as the employees within these organizations. Bit of a busy slide, but I think what we want to highlight here is that the Digital Lab is different to any other project of its kind because of the multidisciplinary approach that we're taking, and to understand the capabilities that we can bring to the table because of the disciplines that we have represented in the partners, but also in the academic colleagues that we have within the project itself. And issues to do with the corporate world are very, very important because there are so many influences coming in from legal, compliance, if you like, international standards, and we start looking at the supply chain. You know, we've been through the pandemic, we hope. We're looking at all of the other influences of supply chain, globally connected supply chain. How does digital actually have an impact, a positive impact, to improve the business processes that we have? These are particular challenges that we really need to look at in a holistic way. So from the viewpoint of the laboratory itself, the Digital Lab, which is a virtual consortium, we're looking at 4 main areas: digital adoption, business models, the actual organizational structures, as well as the working environment. And maybe just to emphasize this last point here, this working environment is particularly important. To what extent can we understand the impact of some digital innovation in the way that people work, the way they actually engage with the processes within the company? Does the innovation make things worse? Does it improve one part of the business process, but, if you like, apply a huge admin burden on the rest? So we really need to understand, as we look at innovation diffusion as part of any digital transformation strategy, what is the impact on the stress of the individual employees and those that are maybe part of our supply chain because of the digital interventions that we put in place. So key research areas are innovation, growth, impact, and of course, transformation. And we really do need to understand to what extent does the digital innovation that we're bringing to the table have a negative impact as well as a positive impact, so we can disengage in case we've made the wrong choices at management level. So we have a number of design areas to look at: the wider value chain within an organization and without the organization. We want to look at the underpinning theoretical aspects to do with digital transformation. And we're not looking per se at the digital technology itself. We're trying to understand the wider impact of the innovations that we're looking at, whether it's technology-led, but then we want to look at the social, socioeconomic, and business process impact within the organization. And we want to foster closer links. As already been alluded to by Tim, it's that cross-correlation between academic and industry research where we can learn best practice from each other. These are particularly important for us within the Digital Lab, and hopefully some of you listening to this broadcast will see opportunities to engage with us. We're a mixed, multidisciplinary team from computer scientists, designers, business scholars, and we're also looking at the ethical and legal aspects of what we do, underpinned, of course, by excellent engineering and science. But this multidisciplinary approach is so important if we're going to realize all of the benefits of any digital transformation journey that we might undertake. And that multidisciplinary approach is the only way to solve some of these particular challenges. So get involved with us. We would really love you, if you haven't already been aware of the Digital Lab. We look at us, we have lab associates, we have fellows. We'd be delighted if you want to come and propose a seminar with us. Join us even as an industry infrastructure or impact partner. We're always looking for new members to come and join the team. We have a base in South Bank. Our office is open to you to come and meet with us, share time with us, and engage with us, and maybe organize an event. Ultimately, sign up for our little newsletter, and we'll keep you informed of some of the activities that we have. So we're open for business, and we want all of you to join us if indeed possible. And here are some of our contact details from Alan, who's leading the charge, Seema, Roger, or indeed myself, if you want to follow up with any other information. So digital transformation is a challenge for all of us, but it's also an opportunity to take us from infinity and beyond. Thank you very much for your attention.